how do seasons come into play when you're talking about the price of the boat? Like, the price of X boat in December versus the price of X boat in July. Hey there, sorry to take you away from the video, but real quick, did you know that on average a boat owner will spend between $1,000 and $5,000 a year just on servicing their engine? And you could actually pocket and save a lot of that money if you would just do the service yourself. It might seem like a daunting task, but I guarantee you virtually everyone can do it with our guidance and the Boaters program. This is just one skill that you could learn inside the program because we have hundreds of other videos teaching you all kinds of boating skills, as well as a weekly live stream where we have questions and answers with me, as well as a chat feature where you can send videos and pictures, ask all kinds of questions, or look for some advice or some guidance on a project that you're doing on your boat. You can join the program by hitting the first link in the description, clicking join, or visiting bornagainboating.com. Now back to the video.
Yep. So you've got the normal depreciation curve that is a boat's always losing value. But within that, you've got kind of an up and down as you're going down.
Mm-hmm.
So the best time to buy a boat price-wise is going to be in the winter and boat show season, which is we're in boat show season right now, January to March. Your boat show is probably around that time.
Mm-hmm.
If you're buying new, the boat show season applies because manufacturers put incentives on the boats. The dealers are just coming out of the winter hibernation where not much has happened, especially in the northern climates. And they're like, hey, we need some cash flow and we just need to get rid of this boat because it's probably a leftover model year. And they're more motivated to sell it.
Yeah.
On the used boat side, if you look at the trends, and I do a market update every about 3 months, and I look at Google Trends on the search term boats for sale. And it's like this. It's January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So that's the interest level. So if you're looking to get the best deal, it's in those kind of shoulder areas where you're January to before your boat show. That's usually when it kicks off in your local area. And then after 4th of July, but probably after Labor Day in most areas, it's a good time to do it. And as you get into right before winterization, people have to pay storage for the winter. They've got to shrink wrap their boats. They've got to winterize them. They've got to pay for storage. And so some people after Labor Day, they're like, I'm ready to sell it. Can be a great time to buy because the season's over. Whoever buys that boat doesn't get to go out and use it for the next 6 months. They got to wait till it warms up again. So the demand is lower, but there's a lot of supply that comes on the marketplace because they don't want to pay those extra expenses. And that could be $2,000. And so you can negotiate, well, I'll just wait until March when the weather warms up. And they're like, well, let's talk. I've got to write these checks for a boat I don't want anymore. And it could be a great time to buy it financially. But then there's also the aspect of when's the right time to buy the boat when you're ready to buy the boat. So you may pay a couple extra $1,000 more for the boat. But if your kids are, my girls are 11 and 13, if we miss a boating season, that's 1 year closer to them leaving the house and going off to do whatever their adult life is.
Yeah.
And so I don't want people to get so hung up on the money that they forget about why they're really buying a boat.
Right.
Because you don't need it. It's not a financial investment. It's an investment in relationships and family and memories and fun and your success. You work hard. And if boating is something that appeals to you, don't wait another year to save a little bit of money. Find the right boat. Make sure it's a good quality boat and fits what you want to do. And make sure it fits your budget. But understand the real reason you're buying a boat is for all the relationship stuff and family stuff and memories. And you're not buying a boat to save money. Because I promise you, that's not happening. That is not happening.
Yeah, no, that's something I think gets overlooked because boating is expensive, that people will get hung up on the financial aspect of it. And then all of a sudden you lose the time and experience value and the purpose of why you're buying the boat because you got so caught up in I don't want to get caught. I don't want to lose a bunch of money, but you're with a boat, you're not losing money. You're paying for experience and entertainment, basically. I mean, it's just like, what you pay for your boat is the same thing as what you pay for Netflix to entertain you and watch movies. It's just like what you pay for a vacation. You pay money to go on, to the Bahamas to do this vacation. You save all this money up, then you spend it all for a week at Sandals in the Bahamas. And like that experience is what you paid for. Well, with the boat, that's the same thing. You're paying to have these experiences and these times. And like you said, with your daughters, you've got this window of, once they're, how everybody's different, obviously, your kids get in different phases, but like, especially once you get to 18, 19, college and out, like all of a sudden, like they're off and doing their own thing. They don't want to hang out with dad at the lake no more, like, so like you've only got this many summers to have those experiences
Yeah,
before.
and, this summer, my oldest brought a bunch of her school friends. She had a math class that they got really tight and have since fifth grade. Now they're in eighth grade, have all stayed together and really close friends. So we had, I think, 8 kids out on the boat, my wife and my youngest and myself. And we went out tubing and wakeboarding and going to the sandbar and just, eating sandwiches on the boat
Mhm.
and had a ball. And my daughter, who doesn't want me to wave at her when she's cheering at the basketball game in middle school, invited all of her friends to spend the day with mom and dad and her little sister, who couldn't be more annoying in her book. And that wouldn't have happened if we didn't have the boat. And it was
Yeah.
such a fun day.
Mhm.
And those are things that, eventually she's going to be off doing her own thing, and I'm not going to have that opportunity.
Yeah.
And to me, that's worth more than
Yeah.
the,
Everything you paid for the boat. Like
yeah. It's a lot. It's valuable. It's valuable to me
Mhm.
to spend that time with my kids and their friends. So
Yeah, that's why I brought that up. Or well, you brought it up, but I kind of extended on it because people do lose that sight getting caught up in it because boats are expensive. So, don't ever lose that sight because you get caught up in the emotional, roller coaster of buying it and spending the money and saving the money and all that kind of stuff. So don't lose sight of. So if you like this clip, you can watch the full podcast over here, or you can watch another clip over here.